Good morning. Yes, it is a beautiful morning here in Las Vegas, Nevada. Um, I woke up feeling really happy. I'm 207 days sober, and to have my soul back attached to me in my spirit within my body is just a blessing. Um, I don't think a lot of people talk about the disease of alcohol. And it's not just alcohol that, that's the first step of the disease, right? I mean, we start off as an alcoholic at, a young age, and we don't realize it because it's normalized and, everybody's doing it and it's okay. And then, um, for me, life shift at the age of 26. 26 years old, the greatest thing and the worst thing could have ever happened to me. I took my Shahada. I came back to Sacramento. I was, super applaud. Everybody happy to see me. Oh, I love her. You know. And so I had a fast mentality. Coming from New York, having my 2-bedroom apartment, always able to live on my own, always able to manage myself, never really had to live with nobody. The whole time I was in New York, always the one to take care of others, always stayed with money, never needed a bank account, but always was able to manage and help manage the life of other people throughout my whole stay in New York. And I managed out there for 7 years. So when I came back to Sacramento, I had a fast mentality. And my mom would tell me, slow down. You only been here a couple weeks. You don't got to move like that. You don't have to act like that. Well, I didn't want to slow down. I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And so a couple weeks being here, I didn't really know how to drive. Yes, I was 26 years old, but I went to New York at 19 years old. And, didn't need a car. I didn't need a car. I can get to A and Z, from Greyhound to bus, from rental cars, all these things. So I didn't need transportation of my own. And it was normal in New York, who needs a car? However, I got to Sacramento and I'm in a house now. I'm in Elk Grove and I'm like, oh my God, I can't get on the bus. It's 45 minutes just to get to the other side of town. I'm like, wait, no, I'm not going to do that. As of, Long Island, it's even Long Island's a fast life. You know what I mean? Like you have Roosevelt, then you have Baldwin, then you have, the Stead, which is Amstead. And, you have all these different areas that you can get to. You got Queens right there, all these, Lindendale, all these different places that I was able to just get around to really quick. And so it's like, dang, now I'm back, in fact, I need a car. My mom went and found me a Kia Royal. I'm like, no. It was a 2001 Kia Royal. They were trying to sell it for $1,000. My mom was like, it's a perfect car. You're going to be safe in this car. Why don't you just get a Kia? I'm like, it's not, like, nobody's going to want to get in that car with me. Like, I want a BMW. She was like, that's your problem. You're trying to live up to everybody's standards. You need to get what's safe. You need to get what's smart. And so I said no. So first lesson of my life was disobeying my mom, right? Let me tell you something. When God has a plan for you, God will use you in so many ways until you get it. So I drove my mom. The Kia Royal was right in Sacramento. The lady had just bought the car. No, she had the car since 2001. It was an older white woman. Had the paperwork and everything. Only put 5,000 miles on the car. Just used the car just to commute back and forth to school, and that was it. took very good care of it, told me, hey, just, bring me 900, the car is yours. Well, so I would have had not only that extra money in my pocket, my pocket, and a great running car to get me around. At that time, I just wanted what I felt was in. So my mom said, okay, well, I'll take you. So we drove all the way to Vacaville. We went to go meet a lady who sold me a 740 BMW. We drove the car around. When we drove the car around, everything was totally fine. About time I got to drive the car, let her leave. I didn't take the car on the freeway. By the time I got the car on the freeway, the head gasket blew. Boom. Right? So my mom, she's laughing at me. And I'm like, what? My money? Like, this is not funny. Like, all my money. So my mom is like, whatever. I'm going to get it fixed for you. This is what you want. I just wanted you to learn a lesson. I told you should have took that Kia Royal, but okay, whatever. So we had to leave my car at Pep Boys for like almost a month. And Pep Boys were super cool in Vacaville. I will never forget. I would call every day. They're like, hey, Makia, your car is good. Don't worry about it. So cool, whatever. So we get back. We fixed my car. My mom paid to get the head gasket fixed. Get it fixed for me. Was able to drive the car back to Sacramento. Boom. I'm happy. Oh, I got a BMW. Oh, my first car. It's stupid. It's just stupid. Oh, I got Michael Kors bag. Oh, I'm, staying in Jordans every day. Oh, I'm flying. Oh, I can go get money from this guy or that. I don't got to stay in the house. So everybody like, oh, you look like Nicki Minaj. So I'm getting invited to all these events. Oh, I need you for my party. I need you for this party. Just, bring that ass. And, all those kind of things. So I'm like, I'm on my way. I got on like, I'm this, the life of the party, turning up like, yeah. Look at me. Shaking on everybody, girls, guys, whatever. Popping pills, drinking alcohol, living life. I'm young. At this time I had, and I still do, but I can call them for anything. But back then, my friends, you know what I'm saying, are people who you think that's your friend. Before my car accident happened, my phone was nonstop. At this time, my phone will ring all day. Girl, where you at? I'm on my way. Where you at? What you doing? Where you at, kid? So all day, it was never a downtime for me. And I had a lot of guy friends, from Indian to Palestinian to black. It just didn't matter. And so my life was totally fun. And my boyfriend at the time, he was Arabian. He was an Arabian guy. He was kind of jealous of me at first. He was envious. When I came, back from New York, everybody knew me. I was very, like I said, an outgoing person. Soon as we met, the first day he met me, he was so excited to be with me. He posted me immediately on his Facebook. So he gets like 200-300 views, like likes on our picture, whatever. Everyone's like, that's my kid. What you doing with my kid? He like, everybody know you. Like, how you know everybody? Blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, that's where I'm from, And so, boom. So, I don't know. That just made him like me even more. Is that the fact that everybody knew me? So, coming to find out, we knew a lot of the same people. Anyhow, long story short. So, he kind of didn't want anyone else to have me. And so he attached himself to me. I couldn't get him to go home. I couldn't get him to get away from me. It was just whatever. And so we ended up just being boyfriend and girlfriend. Boom. And so I got a job. Actually, I got 2 jobs. But I had started. My cousin had got me a job working at her company. Well, first, my other cousin got me a job, but she ended up passing away. Before I can even see her. Rest in peace. Her name is Shapri. She was one of my favorite cousins. She had, when I got to Sacramento, I was like, cousin, I need a job. And then she was like, don't even worry. I got you. I got a job for you. Blah, blah, blah. I'm going to call them. I'm going to get you in. And then she was like, I want you, don't laugh at it. Like, I told them my cousin going to come up there. You're going to know it's her. She got a big butt like me. Blah, 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 blah. I'm like, oh, my God. So I get up there. And this is like on Watt Avenue. So I'm like, okay, it's going to be cool. This is when I first get to Sacramento. And I get up there. I'm like, oh, hell no. This is ghetto as hell. I'm not working here. They was outside smoking weed. They were like, the security was ghetto. He was asking me if I, want to smoke. I'm like, whoa. And then I got drug tested for crystal methamphetamine. And they was asking me if I do hair run. I'm like, hair run? I'm like in New York, hair run. Like, I'm like in New York. I'm like, I ain't even with people that live in Secaucus and Hoboken and who live in Long Island and mini mansions and stuff like that. Like, they don't even do cocaine. They do Special K. And, like, a lot of people don't even know what Special K is. I'm like, I don't. But anyway, so I'm like, okay, cool, whatever. So I let them P-test me, everything else. I didn't have any drugs in my system at that time because I wasn't really focusing on drugs. Like, drugs was not a thing for me. I let them know automatically I smoke weed, but weed was not a drug. I mean, yeah, I smoke weed. Who didn't smoke weed, So I was like, y'all smoke weed. I don't even drink like that. I'm a weed person. I mean, you got weed, I smoke weed. But, well, that shortly changed. I had left from that job. I did not like it. My cousin, she didn't make it back to Sacramento. She ended up having a car wreck in Reno. She was on her way back from Reno. So on her way back from Reno, she got cut off by a drunk driver who swerved into her and caused her to hit a pavement and cut off her ear circulation, and she died on the scene, and her best friend flew out the window, and their other friend has survived. Well, me and her friend end up coming close because I get the call. Everybody's calling me. Hey, Micaiah, Shapri, Shapri's gone, this and this and that. And her job calls me because the whole time she's telling her job, like, yeah, I can't wait to see my cousin. I miss her so much. She's got back from New York. She's been gone for 5 years. I ain't seen my cousin for 5 years. And so I didn't get a chance to really spend time with them grown. And so she had just got her first apartment on Mac Road, all these good things, blah, 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 blah. And so I was supposed to spend a lot of time with them. So her job and everybody had contacted me, telling me how much my cousin, was letting them know how much she loved me and how much she wants to spend time with it. Coming to find out, even the guy who I had dated knew my cousin and knew about me because my cousin would always talk about me being in New York and how I was a Muslim and all this kind of stuff, and how New York had changed my life, and how I was like on my Black Power stuff, and like how she was just proud of me. Well, anyway, long story short, my cousin passed away, and when she passed away, it was 1 month after being here. She passed away July 21st, July 21st, 2014, or it was the 21st or the 25th, one of those days. And her funeral was on my sister's birthday, which was August 6th. And so when August 6th came, I go to her funeral, and I say at her funeral, because my cousin's laying there, I'm so sad, everybody, all that's left is just me, her, and her little sister. Well, she's not little, we're kind of all the same age. I'm older by a few years. My cousin, if she was alive, she would be 34 or 35 years old today. However, she's no longer here, and I'm 37, so. But anyhow, so, yeah, so I was, I had, at her funeral, the day before her funeral, me and my cousin, we We went to get our outfits. We went to Kohl's or whatever. We went to get our outfits or whatever. We were trying to find something cute to wear. So we ended up just deciding to wear pink and brown. I'm like, oh my God, like we gonna wear pink and brown. She was like, well, we ain't got no choice. So we ended up getting pink and brown outfits. And I just was like, I'm just going to be here for you, the whole time through everything else. Because, that's what I knew that she would want, like, regardless to it, whatever. And so I supported my cousin. Well, a month later, my cousin found out that she's pregnant with a little girl. And so her whole pregnancy, I stayed with her. And, like, kind of just was there for her throughout her whole pregnancy, being a support system. But I was also, what ended up happening to me was, let me get back to the topic because I'm all over. Well, what ended up happening was at my cousin's funeral, I was so sad what happened to her. I had said, well, can you show me what happened to you through me? Because I wanted to talk to her about something that we never had got a chance to talk about. And so I had a car wreck. I'm like, oh my God. So right after my cousin's funeral, well, I take my Shahada. I go on September 5th, which is my uncle's wedding day. I go and I take my Shahada, and that's the day of Eid as well. Well, back then that was the day of Eid, which is like Muslims Christmas. Muslims Christmas. And so I take my Shahada that day. When I go and take my Shahada, everybody's happy. They're putting all these bangles on me. I get a necklace that day. I get $100. Like, I get, my guy, he takes me out to eat. I meet all these sisters. It just was, like, amazing. It was fabulous. Like, it was the best day of my life, actually. I will never forget that day. And I was happy to be a Muslima. And, yeah, anyway. And so me forgetting that I just took on this new honor in my life, right? This new honor. You don't know what angels are coming now. You don't know what you're a part of, but you just open up a new tunnel, a new dimension. And some people call it pillars. When you study Christianity, that's one pillar. When you study the Holy Quran, that's another pillar. I'm not talking about the religion breakdown, but the Holy Bible, the Holy Quran, the Holy Scriptures, the Book of Mormons. All these books are pillars to God. The more you learn God, the more you learn His Word, the more you learn Him. So these are different pillars. And so I was like, hey, I'm about to get another pillar. I'm thinking idiotic because at that time I wasn't literally studying the Word of God. I was just taking all these different ownerships of Him without understanding their religion and their background. So that's something else that I'm going to get further into later on. Because religion is something different from the Holy Scriptures or the Holy Bible or the Holy Quran. Religion is controlled by man, but we'll get to that later. However, so what ended up happening was I said that at my cousin's funeral, I wish what you went through that I would know. I wish you would show me. Well, my best friend's birthday was September 21st, right? Which was literally 3 weeks after I took my Shahada, or less than 2.5 weeks after I took my Shahada. My best friend, we go out, we go to the club, partying. Like I said, I'm home, I'm popular. Everybody want to see me, everybody like me. At this time, I don't know what I want to do because I just, went through a divorce of separation from my husband, who was 15 years older than me. We had domestic violence throughout our relationship. There's a lot of up and downs that happen. However, I still love him and wish him the best, but we'll talk about that later as well. So at this time, my best friend is a transgender. So I didn't know if I wanted to be straight or gay. So I'm like, and my best friend knew I didn't want to because I never been that way. But I'm all over the place, like, oh, girls, oh, guys, da da da, whatever. Anyway, it's like, although I don't do anything, I'm just talking about like in a club, dancing with girls, going out with girls, stuff like that. Just having fun. And so we go. My best friend's like, hey, can you go with me to see a psychic? I'm like, yeah, cool, no problem. So we go see a psychic. In the midst of us going to go see a psychic, the psychic reads my hands, right, first. She reads my hand while she's reading my hand, da-da-da-da. I'm not knowing that she's, like, about to go, like, all in my childhood, like, all through my life. I'm not knowing anything. I never been through something like this. And so she's like, oh, my God. She started off, like, where I was at. She was like, I'm going to start off at your current age. And she was like, wow, you're perfect. She was like, you are such a perfect person. And while she's reading me, even my best friend at this time, it was kind of like he was kind of envious. I wouldn't, lie about it, but that's how I felt, because he wanted the reading to be different than what it was. And she was like, what makes you perfect is because, like, you're gonna be a great mother. You desire love. You desire family. You desire a beautiful life. Like, you're gonna be a great wife, and you want a husband, and you're gonna have one, and he's gonna have a lot of money. Everything's like, she was reading like me having like this beautiful life, but she was going into the future. Now she said, let's go backwards. And then she's seen what she's seen, and she's like, oh my God, wait, no. And then I heard a voice through her says, don't tell her what you see. And when the voice says that, I turn around, and this girl, she like twists her head all the way around. And then she crawls up on the wall like a spider. And then she looks at me, and then while she's reading my hand, all the candle goes out, like it got dark. And then she said, you got to get on an airplane. I was like, on a plane? And then she was like, yeah, you got to go on a plane. There's going to be a lot of smoke. There's going to be a fire. It's going to hurt really bad. It's going to be a lot of pain. But once you're off the plane, your life is going to change. You're going to find your husband, this and this and that. But I was like, I just got off the plane. I just got here from New York. Anyhow, well, everything she read was true. After I seen that lady, which was the end of September, the first day of November, October 31st, I lost control of my car in 2014, where my car spinned out. On November 1st, which a lot of Mexicans call the Day of the Dead, I had a car wreck. I hit a power pole at 120 miles per hour. My car caught completely on fire. I was pronounced dead on the scene. I was flighted to UC Davis immediately. This is why my arm is like this, and my arm has been like this for 11 years now, why I can't move my arm no more. I was told that I have a TBI, a traumatic brain injury, for the rest of my life. I have 8 holes in my brain. I split open the frontal lobe of my head, so I cracked open my skull, which caused me to have internal bleeding. The cerebral plex, which is in the back of the neck, I broke my neck. That part had dislocated that part of the neck had dislocated itself from my spinal cord, which also caused internal bleeding. From there, I was told that I would be in a wheelchair for the rest of my life. My spinal cord was no longer straight. It had shifted into what they call an S. I broke my pelvis bone on both sides. I broke my hips. My rib cage were completely shattered. My lungs had collapsed and shift. My heart had shift. I broke my shoulder blade. I dislocated my right arm, where they thought I would never move it again. So that also was and my right arm was wrapped up. I broke my right arm. I broke 32 bones in my right arm and hand. I had to get my hand re-put back together. I have a metal plate 2 metal plates in my right hand. I have 3 replacement of knuckles in my right hand, and I'm also missing a knuckle in my right hand. I was pretty jammed up. So when I woke up from my car wreck, after asking my cousin, it let me, remembering that I just said all this, remembering that I just went to see a psychic, trying to remember that I just asked for all of these things, hey, to happen to me. And then I go see a psychic, and my family, my mom a Christian, okay? They don't play all that. Like, you don't go and ask for a reading of your life if you don't want it. And then on top of that, in the Bible, the book of Revelations and all those books let you know, you don't go and see a psychic. Nobody should know your life but God. Your life should not be read to you. So that was the first mistake that I made. My mom had already warned me, because I had opened up that door, that whatever God was trying to fix and heal, that he can no longer do, because I had went against what God believed in, and now it was going to happen. Well, my mom was correct. And the lady who read my hands, was also correct. Because everything she said was going to happen to me happened. I had a fire. I burnt in a car. I couldn't walk. I was in a wheelchair. I had a walker. I had to learn how to feed myself. I had to learn how to use my right hand. I could no longer lift my left hand. When I woke up, I did not know how to read. I did not know how to spell. I couldn't remember things. My brain wasn't the same. I couldn't hold my bladder. And my mom just asked me about that. Thank God that I can now. I couldn't hold my bladder. I would just pee on myself and don't know why. A lot of things were different about me. And all I remember was, where's my friends? All of a sudden my phone stopped ringing. All of a sudden I wasn't the one to call to be the life of the party. All of a sudden, I wasn't the it girl. I wasn't every guy favorite, butt to touch any longer. And, the girl to call to host the events. And the one that you invite everywhere because you want to show. You want somebody that's going to come and turn up and turn out. I wasn't that girl anymore. And so that led me closer to the bottle. And alcohol just kind of became like all I knew. And so at 26 years old, I ended up getting on subscriptions. Sacramento literally had me on every narcotic that you can think of. I was on morphine, 3 levels of morphine. I had the white little 5 milligram morphine. I had the double stack, which is a purple morphine. They don't even give those out no more. They're so it's like heroin in a pill. I had double stack morphine. I had pink morphine. I had Oxycontin. I had oxycodone. I had gabapentin. I had Tylenol. I had Percocets. I was so high that I couldn't get up, okay? At 26 years old, I would walk and, I would yell. I would curse. My life. Mom, leave me the alone. Get away from me. And just slam the door. And, my boyfriend, he stayed there. He dealt with it. He cried. He, went through the jokes with his job. He had people who made fun of me. He went through every appointment with me. My doctor's appointment for my neck. I had a doctor for my neck. I had a doctor for my right hand. I had a doctor for my spinal cord. I had a doctor for my hips. I had a doctor for my pelvis. I had a doctor for my left arm. I had a doctor for my brain injury. I had a doctor for speech therapy. I had a doctor for recovery. I had doctors, okay? So he's 25. I'm 26. He's stressed out. Okay, he don't know what to do. And I'm like, it's your fault. You did this. If you would have never said that's race, That's what happened to me. So imagine being 25 years old and someone's telling you that you did something that they volunteered themselves to do. And at that time, I didn't have accountability, didn't know how to accept things that I allowed, didn't know what it means to be responsible. All I knew was that my life was different and I was not the same. And I blamed and I cried and I complained. And I walked over people so badly because I have to get the scripture that says this in the Bible. I think it's the book of Revelation. And it literally scared me to realize that in my own life, I had became a Jezebel. A Jezebel spirit is someone that thinks the world exists around them. Someone that never takes accountability. Someone that everything is me, 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 me. Never apologetic. Never is sorry for the things that they do. Always praising themselves. Always thinking the world exists around them. If they fall, somebody's supposed to pick them up. It's not necessarily about sex. It's about action. And at that time, I didn't know that I was the spirit. This spirit was attached to me because I didn't look at the women I love or the men that I loved as being blessings in my life. And I didn't look at my accident as a blessing that I was alive and that God stored me. I didn't look at my family as a blessing. I didn't look at nothing apologetic or with sympathy. I didn't look at nothing with love and hope and faith. I thought the world was against me. And in my next video, I will be sharing with you how it's gonna be long, and I'm gonna keep sharing them continuously with you. How God literally had to whoop me year by year. Okay, so I'd say it took 10 years because we're talking about from 2014. I just quit alcohol and drugs 7 months ago. Okay, that was in 2025. So this is a long story and a long journey of how my life could have been completely different if I knew how to be patient, if I knew how to be obedient, if I knew how to be apologetic, if I knew how to appreciate love, if I knew how to be sympathetic, if I knew how to acknowledge those who love me with obedience and abundance. But I didn't. I was 26 and everybody around me was the problem but me. And this is my first story of me opening up about my alcoholism, about me letting you know that I'm going to be completely honest and completely raw cut it. I'm not going to edit videos. I'm going to be straightforward. I'm going to let you know everything about my Kia, which is my cell. I'm going to let you know how I lost my soul, when it happened, how I got it back, how I went through a dark time when I didn't have God, how I lost my family for years, how God broke me to learn how to apologize, the things that happened through that, how I went ugly, how my skin deteriorated. I'm going to tell you everything that I can possibly tell you without lying. I'm going to be so honest to you because I literally want to write a book, but I want to share. I want the world to know, hey, my name is Mykea Lyons, and I apologize. I apologize for being unapologetic. I apologize for thinking that the world is just around me. I apologize for hurting others when I could have showed love and sympathy and courage. I apologize for hurting my family, who I always felt wasn't good enough. I apologize to the men who I took advantage of, who were trying to help me when I was sick and needed them the most, and their family. I apologize to God, who created me, for embarrassing him and not loving him, for not showing that, through trials and tribulations and through the love of God, that we can heal and we can rebuild and we can learn how to love each other and respect one another's boundaries and be apologetic and still be beautiful. I am going to give you everything of me, and I want you to like, share, and subscribe. I want you to share my videos with every young woman that you possibly can. I want them to know the real me. I want them to know what can happen when you think you are all that and how God can humble you. I want them to know what can happen when you leave things on the table that you have not cleaned up or healed others from. I want them to know what can happen when you have a man to love you and you are unappreciated of his love. I want them to know how alcohol destroyed me so they don't get destroyed. And I want you to share, like, and subscribe. Until next time, Makia.